Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I'm your host, Dave West, codename Phantom Troublemaker.
And I am your co-host, Noel Wood, codename Crapshoot.
And I'm your Cobra intern, who is just at the end of his rope, codename Legion Cub.
And, well... Yep.
Hey, as Starfighter says, one of my favorite shows. Guess what? It's one of ours, too.
Thank you, Starfighter. We appreciate that. It's going to be a low content. Well, it's not going to be a low content night, but there's just really no news to speak of. We got a few things we're going to talk about, but I do not see us going until 10 o'clock. Having said that, I'll see you in 4 hours when we end the show. You know how
you never
we
say
do.
that out loud.
I know, right? Follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Click that follow button, subscribe, do whatever it is you need to do. Write a review of us somewhere, anywhere, and spread the word. The most valuable thing that you can do to support us is share something on socials. On a day when we're going live, share the sound off, share the post about being on Needless Things YouTube channel, share any of our stuff, spread the word, let people know. That's the only way that we're going to be able to grow and become the biggest and best G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe adjacent show that we can be. And also be sure you're hitting that like button. That's important for the algorithm. On Instagram, follow us at Audible Interlude Podcast. While you are there, check out the pinned stories and get some merch. And I need to update our merch picture because hats and shorts have been added to the mix. There was a sale this weekend. I'm not sure if it's still going on or not, but you can get yourself some. Wait on the shorts. I've got a pair of the shorts on the way. I'm going to take a look at them. I'm going to see, because it looks like the logo is going to be really teeny tiny on the leg. And if it is, we'll still offer them, but I don't know that I'm necessarily going to push them really hard. But once they get here, I'll take a look at the shorts and see if they're worthwhile. I can tell you, though, the hats are nice. The hats are nicer than the hat that I'm wearing right now, which is a hat I had made by a professional hat making personnel. So get a TeePublic hat. They're pretty sweet. Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Check the pinned stories. Get yourself some merch. Next up, hey!
Super chat. Happy pre-Dragon Con, guys. Can't wait to see the
Big
show.
Damn Game Show. We can say Big Damn Game Show.
Oh, okay. Big
Here
Damn
on the channel.
Game Show from Thor Golden Cub, our good pal.
And of course, you can't wait to see Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, live at Dragon Con, 4 p.m. this Friday. We will be recording a live panel. I do not have plans to live stream it, but we may do a video recording depending on how we can set up in the room. I don't think it's going to be easy to do in there, but we'll see what we can do. But at the very least, the audio will be available next week wherever you get your podcasts. But come see us live. Wear some Audible Interlude merch. Get yourself a free itty bitty ditty bag, and also a little something else I'm going to talk about later in the show. So live at Dragon Con. And actually, while we're at it, I'll go ahead and run down the other things that I'm involved with. Friday at 1 p.m., I am on a panel called Batman Forever Forever, and I just watched Batman Forever to refresh myself and put some notes together, and my brain's not working real well right now because that movie is a real stanky turd of a flick. But it's going to be a fantastic panel because sometimes those stinky turds are the best ones to talk about, aren't they? 4 p.m., as I mentioned, right after, just after that, Special Mission 1985 for Audible Interlude. And then I will be rushing my butt over to the America's Mart because Danhausen will be there with Headlocked Comics, but he's only signing from 4 to 6, which is a little mind-boggling, like to foot the bill to bring someone in for 2 hours. Kind of wild. But it does make me wonder. Well, no, I know he's got something the next day. So I was going to say, I wonder if he'll be at Dragon Con all weekend, perhaps in a different guise. But no, he's got another commitment on Saturday. So if you can make it to the Headlocked Comics booth on Friday in the America's Mart between 4 and 6, Get over there, and I'll tell you right now, as soon the second the Audible Interlude panel ends, I'm going to be running out of that room like my butt is on fire. Then,
depending on what you have for lunch, your butt might be on fire.
yeah, it's entirely possible. I'm just glad I'm not going to be in some big giant costume. Saturday at 10 p.m., the big damn game show that is in the Hyatt International North Ballroom, the biggest ballroom we have ever been in. It's going to be incredible. If you know, you know. Sunday at 1 p.m., Halloween Con for the first time ever at Dragon Con. Not the movies, the holiday. We are celebrating the holiday of Halloween. And then Sunday at 5:30, the good old panel of adventure, where we will be reading a choose your own adventure book, but the audience will be choosing the adventure. All that is happening this weekend at Dragon Con. You'll be able to catch the Audible Interlude panel wherever you get your podcasts. And then all of the other panels I'll be recording for release on the Needless Things podcast. Speaking of which, I recorded an interview this past Wednesday night with Howard Quigley Chang, who was one of the primary designers, if not the primary designer, of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. He got the job right out of high school and went straight into designing some of the most iconic and influential action figures of all time. We had a great conversation. That will be going up next Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and get that thing produced and put together and ready to go since I'll be at Dragon Con, and I will not be putting together any podcasts while I'm there.
And at 2:30 on Sunday, we will be doing the Video Game Hall of Fame, which I believe that was your brainchild initially, Dave, several years back.
Yeah. And then I realized, like, I just don't play video games at all anymore. I was like, I can't keep doing this.
But we will be discussing.
Minesweeper kept getting outvoted.
Yeah.
We will be discussing the best licensed / tie-in games. So, stuff from movies and TV and whatnot. And, I thought I had a pretty clear-cut winner, but old Ryan Cadaver might sneak in and beat me with one of his choices. So we'll see.
He's good with that. Well,
yeah.
he's younger. He knows what the kids like.
That's true. Even though these games have to be at least 10 years old. So.
Well, and you guys are actually set up really nicely. There's a good panel double feature because immediately following you at 4 p.m. is a panel about video games in movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like show up to the room and take in both of those panels. They're both going to be good. And then stick around. Really, you've just got to hit the Classics Track room all day Sunday because it's Halloween Con, Video Game Hall of Fame, video games in movies, and then panel of adventure. All just boom, right in a row. What a day.
And you know what? There will be people who will be doing that all day in that room.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about the people who run the track.
No,
we have some very dedicated fans of that track.
Well, it's because the track is great. I mean, Classics Track is I think, and not just because I've been working with them for 13 years, but I think it's the best track at Dragon Con for your entertainment value.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
So that Howard Quigley Chang interview will go up this coming Sunday. I mentioned the shirts. Our schedule, our review of G.I. Joe Energon Universe number 10 is available now wherever you get your podcasts. Hopefully you checked that out. Our next live stream is going to be on September the 8th. Put it on your calendar. It's right here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Maybe we'll have some news between now and then. Surely in the next 2 weeks. Surely we'll have some news.
Speaking of news,
Ooh.
Brett White says no news is good news. So I'm going to give a small correction there, but you have now given me maybe a hint or hey, this might be my next Let's Go ring. Because as our friend Gary Gnu says, no good news is good news. From the Great Space Coaster.
The Audible Army Facebook group is active now. I am posting a link in the chat where you can join. Or you can go to Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram, send us your email address, and we will add you to the group. It's a good place to engage with other Joe fans. We talk about the same kind of fun stuff we talk about here on the show. Update with, I know, where is Wreckship? Wreckship is AWOL. Wreckship has been really good about posting links when Monkey Wrench, or Monkey Ranch, if you will, has gone up on the Walmart app. It's a good way to keep up with when stuff becomes available and the links of where it's available, if nothing else. All right. Let me shrink that window back down. Got a little bit of follow-up here. Did you gentlemen get your combat armor Cobra Commanders?
Not yet.
No.
I got mine from Walmart, of all places. Somebody in his tank posted that it was available, and I went and looked, and it was not available. But then a few hours later, it was available. So he was delivered. I think he was delivered from a store. No, wait. Okay, this is weird. I've gotten a lot of stuff from Walmart in the last couple of weeks, which never, ever, ever happens. No, he was FedEx. He was FedExed in. But my review goes up tomorrow. I have some quibbles, but overall, I think it's pretty darn great. I think they did a nice job with it. I have the human head on it. I appreciate the snake head, but I'm not going to display that one. And then the Serpentor iguana that comes with is fun. I dig it.
Yeah, there were a few of those that went up, and I went ahead and I was like, well, they're going to come to me from Pulse eventually, so I can wait. I don't need more stuff coming in right this very second.
Yeah. If I didn't have to do reviews, I would definitely be not as urgent about some of this stuff. Also got, unbelievably from Walmart, found it in store, the Night Force Quick Kick and Beachhead 2-pack. Again, I have some issues with it. I think there are some accessory selections that are a little wonky. But overall, I really, really dig the look of the figures. The Quick Kick, to me, to give him this tactical look with the boots, and I think those are the low light legs on him, and that vest, like, it's just okay. So here's one of my problems. This review goes up on Wednesday. I can't stand this vest because, hang on, the knife is in the way of the little doodad, and the knife does not stay in that well. So in real life, every time he pulled this knife out, it would get caught on that screen. Every time he tried to open the screen, it would yank the knife out of the sheath. Like, this is just a poor design, and they need to stop. The sheath is just a problem. Everything else about this vest is cool. It's just that sheath just doesn't make any sense. But otherwise, I dig him. I like the alternate camo head. I think they've done a really nice job giving him a more practical design. And then Beachhead, I love his deco. Only real issue with it is it's got old school tampo problems where it's not on the side at all. But still, I mean, it's a very different looking version of the character, and I like it. And then finally, this review goes up on Thursday. Whoop, dropped my stand. The Reaction Plus Python Patrol Cobra Commander, who is just tacky as heck, but I love it. And I don't need them to redo all their Python Patrol guys that they did in Reaction, but that's a figure that pops on the shelf.
Yeah, when seeing the promo pics, I kind of felt the same way. I was like, it's Python Patrol. There's just something about O-ring scale Python Patrol deco that doesn't work for me the way that it does at the 6-inch scale.
Yeah.
But seeing non-promo pics of it, I'm with you in the more I see it, the more I like it, and I'm like, okay.
The deco on him, it looks so good, but it's just so different. It's so different from anything else. I like it. If they redo all the ones I did in Reaction, I really don't know that I'd get them. Well, and also they probably wouldn't. I'm trying to think, what do they do? Destro, Baroness. They've already done the Bat. Maybe they will do the rest because they weren't done in the original Joe line. They only did Python Patrol that was not done in the original Joe line, I think. I don't know. Either way, we'll see. You know how I am. I'll probably buy it all. So following that up, Monkey Wrench. Oh, go ahead.
Did neither of you get Radiation Eyes?
No, I put him on my Christmas list, but that is not something I need urgently at all.
Yeah,
I passed on him, but
weighs as much as a small child. It is so heavy and solid plastic. I love it. If you don't want to do the second piece with the arrows sticking out of it,
right?
You get Jurassic Park dino damage.
Yeah, I do. That is nice. How well does it blend?
Not well.
Not great, but okay.
But for the most part, you just flip around the other side.
I mean, I understand them wanting to throw a little something extra on it because at the end of the day, it is just a polar bear. Like, it needs something.
My only quibble is they gave him the articulation to be able to stand up, like, with the neck and the legs.
His head doesn't go down far enough, does it?
Oh, no, it does.
Oh, it does. Okay.
It's the front paws that don't really...
Oh. They don't go out and down?
No. So it's kind of
weird.
He, is doing the zombie walk, I guess. So he'll balance. That impressed me. But yeah, he's 4 on the floor polar bear.
Interesting. And it's funny that they were able to do the owl bear that works in both positions.
Right. Todd C says, I love that Snake Eyes. Not sure why, but beckons to me. Wish I would have snagged one. I will, if you go back and listen to our earlier episodes when they announced this, I had no thrill for the Snake Eyes at all.
Yeah, you were 100% just buying that for the polar bear.
Oh, true. And while that is still the case, I will say the Snake Eyes impressed me more than I thought it should. Like the shiny paint that they used for his goggles.
Well, the colors look great.
Yeah. Again, I'm not going to be holding on to him, I don't think. But I really thought he was just going to be boring.
Yeah.
And he absolutely isn't. If you actually like Snake Eyes as a character and you buy that set, I think you'll be happy.
So Monkey Wrench has been popping up in stock on Walmart, and I managed to get an order in for that. But mine was shipped, I guess, FedEx 7-day express. So it'll be here Friday while I'm at Dragon Con.
What is 7-day express? That makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, and that's the weird thing is that like the Cobra Commander, 2-day shipping. It was FedEx, but it got here in 2 days. I don't know why Monkey Wrench is taking 7 days because I ordered him Friday and now he's getting here this Friday. So that review probably actually will go up next week since I'm going to have time off as long as I'm not completely wiped out after Dragon Con. I'll try and get that review done. And then Major Blood came in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. But the fun thing about him is, so you guys know how I am. that Batman Forever Batmobile that McFarlane did. The Amazon exclusive glow in the dark version went down to like $26. Or no, I take it back. It went down to $32. You know what? Hang on. Because we've got time tonight.
Well, while you're looking that up, some of the folks in the chat were thinking the same thing I was about Monkey Wrench. So Brett White says the ranch is far from the post office. Our good pal Reverend Scott Stripling says it's like he threw a wrench in the delivery plans. Yep. A good monkey wrench. And we're only pausing because I see Dave getting back onto the chat for our listeners that are like, why is there... There we go.
There he is.
Okay, so as I said, we're doing a Batman Forever panel at Dragon Con, and Batman Forever is not a movie that I love, but I love the Batman Forever Batmobile and Batplane and Batboat. Like, I love the vehicle designs of that movie. So McFarlane's Batman Forever Batmobile, the Amazon exclusive glow in the dark one, went on sale, marked down, whatever you want to call it, for $32. And I was like, oh man, for $32, how can I not buy that? And then when I went to buy it, it said, use this $6 coupon. So I got it for $26. And it's beautiful. I mean, this is for $26. This thing is awesome. Yeah.
That is
very cool.
Wild.
It's great. Like, it's really, really cool.
I forgot that Batmobile had a fin that's
an insane fin,
half the size of you.
And when you watch the movie, it's so funny because when the Batmobile is driving, the fin is just wobbling every single time.
I have I have the they did the Hallmark ornament of that a few years back, and I have that one on my tree. Not now, because that would be weird.
So I have the original Kenner version of this. I have the Spin Master version that came out a couple of months ago. I have this version that, by the way, does not glow in the dark at all. It is the most pathetic, and I've got a lot of pathetic. If you on the Needless Things YouTube channel a couple of years ago, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I did a glow in the dark tour of my toy room. Still available. You can go watch it right now. Well, not right now. When we're done, go watch it. And you can see I've got some glow in the dark stuff that's pretty pathetic. This is the most pathetic of them all, but it's still awesome vehicle design. But the other day, if you pay attention to Big Bad Toy Store, you know that every day lately they've been dropping a collection of clearance stuff that's typically from 55 to 80% off. And the other version of that Batman Forever Batmobile that actually lights up in colors that still aren't quite right for the movie, but it does light up. And it comes with a Michael Goff Alfred figure, which I do not have. And while I'm not a big fan of McFarlane Toys action figures, I am buying all the Batman movie figures that they do, because who knows if Mattel will ever get around to doing them or not, or if they'll make it a priority or whatever. So I am, because all of those movies hold sort of a special place in my heart, and I don't have an Alfred. So I've been wanting that Alfred, but I wasn't going to pay $125 or whatever it was when that thing was first offered. Well, Big Bad had it for $55. And I was like, I just bought this darn Amazon one, but that's the one I actually want. You know what? Let's go. Let's do it. I'm going to do it. Let's live large with 4 Batman Forever Batmobiles. So I bought that, added it to my pile of loot, which I already had. There's a boss fight Cassie Hack figure in there in my pile of loot waiting to go. I was like, okay, cool. Put in the Batmobile. I'll ship it. Good to go. What I did not remember was that I'd gotten the email saying Major Blood will be arriving soon. Naturally, the day after I shipped it, Major Blood in my pile of loot. So I was like, all right, fine. And even though it's whatever, I shipped it. I shipped Major Blood. Now I did do the Super Saver shipping because I know he's going to come while I'm probably at Dragon Con or whatever. And even if he doesn't, like, I'm just not going to be doing a ton of reviews next week. So he can take his time getting here. And of course, today they shipped everything. The Batmobile and Cassie Hack shipped FedEx. Will be here like probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Major Blood shipped DHL. Will be here sometime in the next 10 days, maybe. Both Super Saver shipping. Anyway, so Major Blood's on the way, and the Batmobile and Cassie Hack are on the way because I need more Batmobiles. But I will buy every Cassie Hack figure that gets released because Hack Slash is a tremendous comic book. Do you guys have any kind of like follow up, any weird toy stories, anything going on that you want to share? I know we're all very Dragon Con focused right now. Well, in that case, it is time to move on. Believe it or not, we've got some news.
What?
How
is that possible?
First off, we got to talk about these crystal ball cancellations that have been going on. So I got my crystal ball. You guys got your crystal balls, right? Mm-hmm. So we the three of us, we all have our balls.
And mine was ordered late. So you got yours in the initial offering, didn't you?
No, we all got ours like the same day.
Well, I'm saying you ordered yours in the initial when they first went up.
Yeah.
I missed the window, so I ordered them when they went back up a couple months later.
Yeah. So there's been no I don't know where I was going with that. I got distracted by a comment in here. Reverend Scott Stripling, we're saving that. So anyway,
cancellations. I've not heard like legit.
Really?
I've not heard of it because
It seems like, if I had to guess, I would say at least 60% of Walmart's pre-orders have been canceled. People have been receiving order delayed, and then canceled.
Come on, Walmart.
And it's brutal because, as a matter of fact, I think Hoffman might be in that boat right now. I can't remember. I know he's looking for one. I can't remember if his order got canceled or if he just wants to find one in the wild.
But was it earlier today or yesterday? Someone like front page on Toy Newsy, they posted crystal ball back up on Walmart.
Well, and people are finding them in store as those displays go up and are slowly getting populated with stuff that I'm not getting up again. I got Rhino today because the same day I ordered Monkey Wrench, I ordered Rhino, and Rhino was supposed to be delivered from a store, and then it got delayed on Friday. It was supposed to arrive. No, I take it back. It was supposed to arrive Saturday, and it got delayed. And then it said on Sunday, it gave me a new delivery date, and then it said delayed again. And I was like, oh, well, this is getting canceled. And then today I went to the Snellville Walmart, and they had 4 of the Rhino, and I was like, oh, sweet, cool. Picked it up, went to cancel because that's how I will cancel it while I'm standing there. Went to cancel it, and it said your Rhino is out for delivery. And it said it was going to be delivered 10 minutes from then. So then I had to make the choice. Do I go ahead and buy this and make sure they're not delivering like a J. Jonah Jameson or a pair of shoes or who knows what? And I was like, no, you know what? There are 4 of these here. I can get back here in 15 minutes if I have to. Let me put this back. So I put it back, got home, and sure enough, Rhino was here. So that was a good story about things working out. But yeah, Walmart not doing a great job with this stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, right now that crystal ball is my favorite figure in the line, and I just want everyone who collects classifieds to be able to get one without any headache or struggle, because he is such a great design figure.
Well, he's so good that I'm not canceling my Pulse order because I want two, because I want one. He's over on the other side of the room. I want one in just sort of his classic look like Noel is showing us right now. But then I want the other one with all the green stuff on him to go with the Ghost Vipers once they come out and get canceled. So yeah, that's what's going on with Crystal Ball. Now, I feel that he's going to end up being plentiful, because when you do see pictures of people finding him, they're like 6 on the peg. Pulse has not gotten theirs in yet. Those are still coming. And once Pulse gets them, they'll be available again. Once they start fulfilling pre-orders, like they'll be live on Pulse. So like if you pay attention, I think you'll be able to get one. It'll be fine. The other interesting thing was that Walmart had 2 stingers, which I knew that was happening, but it was wild to see big boxed G.I. Joe vehicles just in a store.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of makes me wish, though, that they had worked something out for them to be like Python Patrol stingers, or do a Tiger Force stinger for Target, or I wish it was something more exciting than just the stinger, that I think most people that want one have one.
Yeah.
Or even a reissue of the Vamp, because there are a lot of people who never got a Vamp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Vamp's still selling for like $300.
Yeah. So, but still cool to see. And look, it's that time of year. We're in the back to school season, which is when all the resets happen and when people start doing their holiday shopping. So I mean, to have those vehicles in store, they will get bought, for holiday presents or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. So it's cool that they're there, and I hope that what retail sees is, people will buy stuff like this. I hope they don't sit there, for 6 months, 2 years, whatever, and then go on clearance. I don't think they will.
Reverend Scott Stripling again chiming in saying it might be a trial thing, which I can see that.
The stingers?
The stingers.
I'm sure. It's 100% a trial thing. It's 100% Walmart seeing the success of the classified line and saying, all right, we'll give these a try. Yeah, it's absolutely that. There he is. Wreckship 8. Put Wreckship up on the screen. Ahoy, everyone. There's our little lost lamb. All right, more news. We've got an update from World War Hell. Grindhouse Toys is hard at work on the incredible World War Hell line. The Kickstarter blew away, I think, anybody's expectations. And they sent out an email. Here we go. Hey, everyone, they're hard at work on World War Hell and wanted to update everyone on what's been going on. All of the sculpting is being double and triple checked by the amazing James Carter so that we will have no issues once we start tooling. That is key, and it shows right there that Grindhouse Toys have learned lessons. Hey, look at that.
Twice in one night.
Or with another super chat. I need my Pythona Cobra. La 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 la.
Oh, we all do.
Which, when you finish, actually, that is news we need to talk about.
Okay. And speaking of the super chat, everything that we take in through the super chat or any other official venue through YouTube, whatever, everything goes back into the show, whether it's hosting, whether it's production, whether it's paying. We're moving from StreamYard to another service in October, because StreamYard is increasing their pricing almost 100%, which is insane considering how bare bones StreamYard actually is.
They got the tariffs of getting all that data across the world.
Hey, look at that. Oh, this is new. I don't even know what this is.
Lenny Hondo with a super sticker. Interesting.
I'm going to have to review my YouTube creator materials and see what a super sticker is. I like it. It actually sounds kind of delicious. Is that like a pot sticker? All right. So the point I was making with Grindhouse Toys, clearly they have learned lessons from all of the other Kickstarters that are going on, is that if you can do as much possible review of your sculpts early in the process, because our next update is going to kind of elaborate on that. They will be tooling very soon. They now also have a working prototype of the articulated jaw on the skeleton and zombie head sculpts. Let me just say, it definitely kills. Think about that. These are 1/18th scale. These are O-ring figures, and he's doing articulated jaws on the skeleton and the zombie.
That's awesome.
I mean, that is just one little piece of why I'm supporting everything Grindhouse Toys does. Just absolute excellence in the art of toys. Backer kit should be going up in the next month or so. There may be a surprise or two in the backer kit when it launches, so definitely keep your eyes peeled. Here is a teaser. Oh, look at that. Nice little tampo on the side. Little Devil's Rejects tampo. And what is that figure? Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Starfighter says, my crystal ball figures were canceled. Of course, I ordered 2, and perhaps that is why. No, capitalism loves greed. So ordering 2 should have secured you.
No, there are plenty of single figure orders that have been canceled out there. It's definitely not because you ordered 2.
I am so sorry.
And then one more from Grindhouse Toys. They're also gearing up for fall convention season. They head back out on the road and will be at Retro Horror Con in Greenville, South Carolina, September 5th through 7th. So very cool. And that's a convention I'd love to go to, but I just cannot do back-to-back Dragon Con and then go up to Greenville for something.
Yeah, we have a room, but I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to make it up there or not.
For Retro Horror Con?
For Retro Horror Con. Yeah.
Really?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, we have our friends are going. And I believe ending up there, but yeah. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not.
That's a lot.
Especially considering Friday night before we'll be going to go see a show.
Sparks.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, oh my gosh, that's right. Oof.
It's too crazy of a time right now.
Yeah. Well, and so Sparks Friday night, Garbage, I think, is Monday night, and then 9 Inch Nails is Tuesday night. Like, that's nuts. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to Greenville. And then they will also be at the Jolanta Toy Show in Duluth, Georgia, September 26th through the 28th, which is probably as soon after Dragon Con as I can possibly do anything else like that. We will be at Jolanta. So please come on out and visit the Grindhouse Toys video store. More toys that look like movies than anywhere in the world. And of course, I love the fact that he credits every single time. He credits Jimmy Harovex of HVX Customs for doing this diorama. Very cool. And I like the Kilroy in the background.
Yeah.
That's a nice little touch for people our age. Next up, we have no images to go with it, but we have an update from Legends of the Hidden Force. After their last update, they sent over questions and revisions to the factory. Their factory rep had questions about the figures, but those have been addressed, and the figures are approved and ready for the next step. Unfortunately, they identified some issues with the accessories, although they designed all the accessories to be the same diameter, and we talked about this, how what they settled on. If you go back and look, we've got an interview with the Legends of the Hidden Force guys, Whiskey Jack Toys. We had them on the show a couple of years ago talking about the line, and they decided that they were going to use the Lego size. What's the word I'm looking for? Same size as Lego accessories for all of their interchangeable modular weaponry. They designed all the accessories to be the same diameter. This was not properly communicated to the factory, and some of those tight tolerances were lost in the tooling, leaving some too large, some too small, and some just right. They are veritable Goldilocks of toy manufacturers over there. But they are talking tenths to 1/100ths on millimeters in size variations. If caught on the front end, new tooling would have been created, but on the back end of things, it is incredibly difficult to modify tooling at the micrometer scale. The factory has done a great job addressing their concerns, and they now see light at the end of the tunnel. Here's a quick but not exhaustive rundown of the accessory revisions. I'm not going to read off all of these, but basically They're trying to make sure all the accessories fit on the backpacks, all the blades fit on the handles, all the chains fit on the blades, et cetera, et cetera. They sent those reviews. This is the part that's heartbreaking. This is the part that makes me positive I will never be involved in the actual creation of a toy line. They sent these revisions in June of 2024 and received communication back 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh.
If you wonder why these Kickstarters take so long, if you wonder why these independent toy companies are so slow, why they talk about product and then it takes 2-3 years for it to come out, they first sent these revisions a year and 2 months ago, and 2 weeks ago got a response about those specific requests. That's the turnaround these guys are dealing with. That's why this stuff takes so long. So it's their choice, obviously, to get involved with manufacturing, a manufacturing process that is this difficult. But you have to understand, as a backer, this is what they have to deal with to get their products made. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact them on Kickstarter or on Facebook, X, or Instagram. So just an update from Legends of the Hidden Forest, one of the many very cool-looking new O-ring lines that we're excited about and have been following for quite some time now. And that's it. Oh, no, Kristian.
No,
Kristian, you have news.
I do. So just a couple of days ago, a report came out that during Canada Fan Expo, that Hasbro has said they are not going to be doing PulseCon this year.
That's right.
And they won't be doing the 1027 event either. Instead, they will be focusing more on attending fall conventions such as New York Comic-Con, MCM London,
and Jolanta. No, they did not.
Yeah, and Luca comic and gaming conventions. It says that they plan to sell exclusives at New York Comic-Con and MCM London, which is something they generally haven't done in the past. So that I'm wondering if Pythona is going to end up being the New York Comic-Con exclusive, because
Right.
We all had jumped the gun, but I think safely based on Starduster and some of the others that she was going to be a PulseCon exclusive. And so for one, I'm actually kind of bummed a little bit about it. I hope that they make getting her as easy as they have made previous PulseCon exclusives and not a challenge like San Diego Comic-Con exclusives.
I mean, challenge. Look, this is gonna. I know how I'm going to sound when I say this because I listen to podcasts that say things like this and it makes me angry. However, if you're paying attention, it is not hard to get these things. That's if you're paying attention and you're available.
Right.
Now, everybody has different work schedules, and yeah, that's a problem. But yeah, I don't think Pythona will be any harder. I'm sure if it is a New York Comic-Con exclusive, it'll go up online sometime around New York Comic-Con. And if you're paying attention, you'll be able to get one. And then potentially they'll do a second production run. I don't remember how did Cold Slither go down? Like, I don't think anybody was left not getting Cold Slither, right?
No, not in the long run. I think that's
what
the
I'm
thing
saying.
that people need to keep in mind is
right. They do those second production runs, and they've done it every single time.
I don't think with Cold Slither it was a second production run. I think they just only were releasing a few at a time up front because the listing was up for days.
Yeah, when they did the second.
I mean, they all shipped immediately, so it wasn't like you had to wait.
Okay. So it wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't ever a pre-order.
I just want them to to have the website ready. I think that's my only biggest gripe.
Yeah,
when we're trying to buy con exclusives from the website, is that if it's never an easy process unless you're willing to wait for that second
Cold
run.
Slither is currently available as a pre-order.
I saw that.
So they must have sold existing stock.
Well,
But
that's what they've done with all of these. Is they do a run that is a con conscious run. That's the production number.
Mhm.
And then they do a second production run and they take pre-orders for those. It's what they've done every time.
Well, that's
I
what,
think
like
we need
I've
to go back and check. I think Serpentor is the only one they didn't.
I
Because
think they did even with Serpentor, though, because
they-
I feel like people got Serpentors months after the original release. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah. Well, and it's people, on the internet go crazy about this. I'm like, you have to have these con exclusives, regardless of whether or not they wind up being completely exclusive to the con. We're lucky we're even getting these things because, like, at one point in time, if something was a con exclusive, if you weren't there or you didn't have a friend who was there, you never got the thing. Because when I went to San Diego Comic-Con years ago, there was no way to get those exclusives after the con except on the aftermarket. And like you've got no one's just gonna go buy a con pass, especially with them costing hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if there's not something for them to get out of that con experience other than just I got to go to the con.
Well, and also it just brings attention to the line.
It's good for G.I. Joe. It's good for
And I do think it's good for Hasbro to be going to these other conventions to maintain an in-person presence. Sean,
they're going to get more mileage out of being somewhere in person than they are out of having the online, which I liked PulseCon. I know people got grumpy about it. I liked PulseCon. I liked the 1027 stuff. I thought it was fun because I generally cannot get to those, to New York Comic-Con, to Denmark Cheese Fest or whatever else they said.
Yeah, Reverend Scott Stripling's Arts last
Hang on real quickly. So Sean Forrester chimed in with, they said at San Diego Comic-Con that Pythona would be a fall con exclusive and quantities would be available after those cons.
That's right.
I missed that news, or I had forgotten.
No, we talked about it.
Okay. Reverend Scott says San Diego Comic-Con $1,200 Lego figures.
What?
So when I went, they weren't reselling for $1,200, but that's how I essentially paid for my Comic-Con experience. Was I circled the Lego booth and picked up as many tickets as I could so I can go and purchase the little exclusives, and then I got home and I put those things up on eBay, and they were I think it was $25 for the set, and they were going for $150, the next day.
Well, me and Ryan and Jay every year would put in an order with a close personal friend of Noel's to mule stuff back for us.
Yeah.
That was for a good 3-4 years, I think. That's how we got those exclusives and then Hasbro started offering them online in various unreliable ways before Pulse existed. All right. Good talk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't believe we're already here. It's not even 9:00 yet. Chat, if you've got anything that you want us to talk about, now's the time to hit us up because we are already to the segment of the show called Sound Off, where we take input from social media, from Instagram, Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Every morning, I'll put up a sound off post when we're doing a live stream that night, and we ask you what you want us to talk about. And I in the Audible Army Facebook group this morning, I said, you guys, we need some help tonight. We need you to send us some stuff. And I got to say, we're a little light on sound offs, but that's okay. Maybe we just have an early night tonight. I got plenty to do Dragon Con prep wise, so I'm not going to be mad if we get out of here in the next half hour or so. So let's move on to some sound offs. Road Pig John, what is up, Road Pig John? My favorite emoji, happy Audible Army member. What was your favorite Screaming Eagles characters from the G.I. Joe Sergeant Savage cartoon tape, guys? I liked the Grill, Mouse, and Headbanger. So my response to this is I haven't watched that since it came out 30 years ago. So I can't honestly answer that, but I can say we will be doing a review of that cartoon at some point, and we'll get into that. But looking at the toy line, I can tell you that even when it came out, I mean, granted, we had like 6 different versions of Sergeant Savage, and they were all pretty cool. But I think the version 1 Dynamite.
Yep, that was my number 1 pick right there.
Right? Like, that's a cool, distinctive looking figure that if it had been scaled to Real American Hero size, really would have fit in and been a cool looking Joe. I really dig that figure.
Yeah. And, I never did see this cartoon ever. So all I have to go by is the pictures that I've seen of these figures and stuff online. So,
well, don't you worry. We'll review it at some point.
But, General Blitz kind of has like an M. Bison look to him as well. It's a cool looking villain.
I like most of the designs in the toy line. It's just, as we've talked about many times on the show, the fact that they were a larger scale than the Real American Hero stuff really kind of ruined it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Kristian, did you have an opportunity to take a look and see if there was a character that stood out to you?
I didn't, unfortunately. I am in the same boat as Noel, that I don't think I've ever seen the cartoon for this. So I need to track it down.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll review it. We might get it. Well, no, actually, we probably won't get it done before the end of the year because we do have a big announcement that we're making at Dragon Con. So stay tuned for that. Another one from Road Pig John from the Sergeant Savage cartoon videotape. There was a villain called General Blitz / Krieger. He was an ally of Cobra. His robotic form, which you've already like blown my mind there, looked like a crossover of Starscream with a human head. It will be a fantastic toy. See that character in figure form and maybe classified. Also, the Iron Arm. Well, he says Irony Army, which I would like to see the Irony Army. I feel like Kristian would be heading up that faction. Right. But Iron Army troopers are very nice looking that will deserve the same treatment. Yeah, look, as we said, the whole Sergeant Savage line, which I do think we covered on a Beyond the 80s, I believe.
In the very early days.
Yeah, it could do with a revisit, though. I would be willing to bet. But yeah, I'd like to see all that stuff in classified. Everything in classified. Hashtag everything in classified.
I'm liking the design of General Blitz. I guess Road Pig, did they make a toy figure of the robot form?
Not
because everything I'm seeing is just.
I think that was just in the cartoon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. All right. Next up. Oh, Tom Henry with a real banger here. What's Duke's favorite Pokemon? Hey, thanks for really stepping up and helping us out on a night where we need some input, buddy. Good job. Hashtag Fang 2025. Noel, I would say you're probably the resident Pokemonologist in the group. Do you have an answer to this question?
So because Duke, it was kind of like a clone of Hawk that was introduced later on to become kind of the new leader character.
Oh, is he a Pokemon up version of Hawk? I don't know what the terminology is.
No, I wouldn't say that. Otherwise, I'd say Raichu, because if you consider Pikachu the most popular Pokemon from the first 150, but I wouldn't say Raichu because I don't think he's an upgrade. I'd say Pachirisu because he's kind of the knockoff of Pikachu. So
okay.
But more importantly, Duke would probably not have a favorite Pokemon. he would be being captured, so he would be the Pokemon. And his favorite trainer would have to be Jesse from Team Rocket because he loves those redheads.
Well, okay. I'm going to segue from there and say my choice is somebody who knows nothing about Pokemon beyond like Pikachu, Charizard, Squirtle, and Snorlax, who is my favorite. But going along with your line of thought, I thought Duke's favorite would be, and I don't know how to say this, Ponyta.
Ponyta, or the evolved form of Rapidash.
Yeah, whatever. Because of the fiery red hair that reminds him of his lady love Scarlet. Kristian, do you have an answer for this preposterous question?
I do. My initial gut feeling was the same as Noel's, in that Duke wouldn't have a favorite Pokemon. But if Duke was a Pokemon, and I didn't think in terms of the comic or the cartoon, I thought in terms of how I saw Duke.
Hang on, I'm sorry. I have to get this off the screen because if anybody just tunes in, I cannot have some Pokemon sitting in. As ridiculous as we get, we're pushing even our boundaries tonight.
But I would say Duke would be Diglett, because he's kind of pointless and just there.
Pretty harsh, Kristian. Pretty harsh.
Well, it could be Doug Trio, which would just be 3 of the same thing.
Right. That was the other thing, because it made me, I was like, well, every evolved form is just adding another one. And with all of the redecos that Duke got over the years, it didn't make him a better character until Energon universe.
We've hit a new low. Hashtag Fang 2025. All right. Here we go. Something we can sink our teeth into. Silent Interlude. The Special Mission Brazil. Yes. Had 486 repaints and Claymore kit bashed from 85 figures. Now, you know what? Let me reread that, because for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, that is very confusing. Claymore is not kit bashed from 85 figures. The Special Mission Brazil had 4 1986 repaints and Claymore kit bashed from 1985 figures. Can you come up with a sequel set, Mission Brazil 2 or Mission Somewhere Else, that follows the same formula of 4 same-year repaints and a kit bash from an alternate year? I love this concept, and there's so much mileage here. Like, we really could. This is another one of those things that could be a whole segment on one of our audio episodes. His is repaints of Wild Bill, Tripwire, Covergirl, and Airborne. He really wanted Doc and Gung Ho too. Plus a new character, Haywire, who is a helicopter rescue specialist made up of all 1988 parts. Hit and run arms, lethal. Hit and run arms, lethal, and waist. What do you think lethal is supposed to be? Legs. Hit and run arms, legs, and waist.
When legs gets autocorrected to lethal, you might want to check your posting history.
Yeah. Hit and run arms, legs, and waist, shockwave torso, and skid mark head, which there's a combination of 2 words that I never want to hear again in my life. This set can be remade and classified after they make an O-ring version, and both sizes can come with a repainted Fang for Tom Henry. I like the idea of a repainted Fang. So I like this. This is a great sound off, which Silent Interlude usually gives us stuff to think about. I think we've often kind of put a pin in something and said we'll have to come back to this when we have more time, but we've got time tonight. Did you guys have, I forgot to tag you guys in the sound off post. Did you guys have the opportunity to look at this one and think about it?
I did.
Was this, I didn't even see this one on the sound off post. So this must have come in later.
It probably came in around 1:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, then it just wasn't showing up.
So Kristian, if you've got one, you and I can go, and Noel, you do a little poking around and thinking and see if you can come up with something. Kristian, do you want to go first?
Sure. All right. So mine is called. Let me get my.
Well, while you're thinking
pulled
about
back
that,
up.
I'm going to throw a comment up here. Tom Henry has dropped in to say, "Hell yeah, repaint Fang." Tom Henry, you don't get to comment tonight after that terrible, terrible sound off. You should be ashamed of yourself.
So
Yeah, we
mine,
spent like 10 minutes talking about it.
mine
Wait.
is. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm going to keep interrupting you.
no, go for it.
Reverend Scott Stripling says, "What repaint? Chartreuse? Chartreuse, is that another Pokemon?" Chartreuse and Periwinkle, both Pokemons, I'm pretty sure. All right, I'm sorry. Kristian, go
Probably.
ahead. I will not interrupt you
Yes.
further.
So mine is Operation Life is a Highway.
Oh, boy.
So this is the Joes going undercover in the world of Tokyo street racing. So they're going to be redecoed in some pretty awesome neonish, racing gear.
Hashtag family.
So, sticking with our 1982 Joes, and I'm doing a smaller team because too many, they're going to draw attention to themselves.
Sure.
So first you have Clutch, which goes without saying. Then you have Breaker, because he's going to be your motorcycle street racer. Then I went with Short Fuse, because with the more plain chest and arms, it'll be easy to repaint him. And then our kit bash is actually, it's going to be a kit bash of a 1984 figure and an 82 figure. And her name is Drift, and it is a kit bash using Baroness's head, but give her blonde hair. And then it's going to have Scarlet's arms, Baroness's shoulders, but Scarlet's gloves, and then Baroness's legs. But obviously, she's going to be repainted.
Oh, okay. I like that. All right. Oh, Noel, are you ready?
Sure, I'll shoot my shot with something that I just completely made up off the top of my head.
I like it.
So mine are going to be from some 84 figures.
Okay.
Mine is Operation Red Rocket, where some Joes have to go undercover into one of the Red Rocket diner locations.
Okay.
So of course we're getting Roadblock with his, and these are all going to have like bright red and yellow color repaints for the Red Rocket uniforms. We got Roadblock. We're going to have Spirit. We're going to have Ripcord, and we're going to have Mutt. I wanted to throw in Blowtorch, but you wouldn't have to recolor him.
Yeah, right.
But I figured he'd be hanging around being mad about all the fire everywhere, being like, oh, no, don't have so many fires around here. Because for a guy who played with fire, he sure did hate them. And he could also scream about pork chop sandwiches, which they may or may not serve there. Sure. And then our kind of kit bash figure would be assembled from Cutter's head, and this would all be 84 at this point in time. We'd have Clutch's upper body, torso, and why not Copperhead's lower legs? Why not?
Okay. All right. I like it. All right. So I also went in a little different direction from what Silent Interlude was asking for, because I want Special Mission Brazil to remain its own thing. Like, I don't want to do a sequel to it. I don't want to do more Joes in the sort of khaki and red colors. Instead, the next year, I could see them doing Cobra's response to Special Mission Brazil. This is because if you have not listened to our review of the Special Mission Brazil audio tape, you should check out the Audible Army Facebook group for a link to the Audible Interlude wiki to find out where that was. We did review Special Mission Brazil on, I think, our very first episode. And if you don't know, that is where our unenthusiastic Cobra comes from. So after Cobra's defeat in Brazil, they put together a team to handle the Brazil Joes. And that team is going to be all in navy, yellow, and light gray. They're all going to be in those colors. And the team members will all consist of 1987 figures, since this is the next year after Special Mission Brazil. It's Crocmaster, Big Boa, Crystal Ball, and Raptor, all in those colors.
Oh, I can't wait to see the wing design for that.
The wings are going to be yellow.
Oh.
They're going to be Raptor's yellow feature. They are led by a kit bash of low light from the waist down, Roadblock version 2's torso, a bat right arm, a Viper left arm, and a Viper helmet with a neon green faceplate with a red crosshair tampo on it. And this is the Alpha Viper that leads this team.
I like that.
I like this so much, I might have to commission like Brett White. I might have to buy all of these seconds of all of these figures and send them to Brett White to get him to paint them up, because I love, like, this is one of those great prompts, because when I first read it, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then when I dug into it, I was like, oh, wait, I want to see this. I love this. Oh, and also Crocmaster's crocodile in this one would be an albino. It'd just be all white.
They have
Big Boa
paint applications on the eyes.
Yeah, red dots on the eyes. Crystal Ball would have a different lenticular application on his shield. And then, like I said, Raptor would have the yellow wings. And then everything else would be that navy blue and light gray. So yeah, I want to see this. Brett put up Brett White's.
Yep. Brett White says, I need to make money, baby.
We might be talking about this. Like I can see it. It excites me. All right. And I think that might be. Oh no, we've got a couple more.
We've got a few in the comments here.
Let's get them from the chat.
JJ Shoulder Height says Special Mission YMCA, which I'm loving it already.
Yeah.
You have Toll Booth, Shipwreck, and Torch with a kit bash of 83 Duke waist and legs, Gung Ho's torso, and Wild Bill's head.
You still need to have either like a Law or a Spirit in there to complete the.
Well, I think you could do
village.
So Spirit, yes. I think rather than just using Law, I think you would probably be best served doing another kit bash to make somebody that looks like because Law has that he doesn't really look like a cop. I think you kit bash, you figure out what pieces you need to actually do like a policeman uniform, which is probably really hard to do.
Mutt is also an MP, and he has the mustache, so he kind of fits the group.
Yeah, the head wise, I like Mutt, and then you just repaint or tool his helmet in a different color. But I think you've got to find a body that just looks more like, just says cop more. Some high boots. Well, all I'm picturing is the Mego Chips figures. So just do something close to that.
Right.
Reverend Scott Stripling threw one
Dangle.
up as well.
Yep.
It's a little further up in the chat.
Yep. So I'm going to go with his Joe one, which is Mission Little Choco Donuts. So you would have Roadblock in an apron and chef hat, Gung Ho in an apron with spoon, and then Snake Eyes as Boy George with grape soda bottle. And I would buy a pack of Gung Ho and Roadblocks if they had their cooking gear.
I actually, if you're doing Mission Little Chocolate Donuts, I think you just release Bazooka with a Belushi head sculpt. I mean, that's my preference there. Let's see,
And
Nowhere Man-Child. What's
Yep.
going on over there?
so Nowhere Man-Child says, imagine if Hasbro had done 1990 Night Force. I'd say they have Night Force versions of Downtown, Recoil, Rock and Roll, and Scoop. All 89 figures, but only 4 done instead of 6 that year.
I like that idea a lot because I could that Rock and Roll version 2 is such a good, like, imagine if they had done him in Night Force colors, but maybe included his original loadout. That could have been a cool concept.
And let me way back up here. Our good pal Wreck Ship actually threw in. He says, I forgot to do the sound off today, but which pet figure needs to become a new Dire Tech animal?
I think Freedom would work.
Okay.
I think that could be kind of cool. I mean, obviously the polar bear, but at the same time, like, my gosh, are you going to pay for a spooky giant polar bear? I don't know. What else?
You know what? If you, oh man.
Oh, you know what? I need a dire macaque. We got to get that. We got to get macaque glowing green.
But thinking of Freedom, man, if they could do a snap-on, because no, his head was actually articulated.
Yeah.
So if you did,
right. Well, wait, is it? It's a separate, like, it turns.
Yeah,
right?
it's a separate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you could do another Cthulhu monster, whatever version, demon bird head.
Oh yeah.
For it, and
that would be awesome, like with tentacles and stuff.
Yeah,
coming out of it. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and you
but
could
yeah, outside of that, I don't know. Well, okay, what about? Could you do something interesting with Fiona? I mean, other than just a glowing green crocodile, which would be cool. But again, we gets to the point where it's like, okay, well, how much is it going to be for this stuff? Like, if they do a dire creature pack, that's the polar bear and Fiona and Freedom and macaque, and maybe throw the warthog in. Like, how much is that? Who's going to buy that? I don't know.
Yeah, when I think about it, like,
or do you do a dire
bird of some sort, evil demon bird
would be cool.
Would be cool. I would buy
it. What about the giant scorpion?
Oh yeah, that's
for the upcoming sand scorpion.
Yeah,
or desert scorpion, whatever he's called.
Well, look, now we're going down a whole road where is it a possibility where Walmart's new thing is we get a a ghost Crocmaster where he's repainted to match the Ghost Viper, and he comes with Fiona in that glowing it's not glowing, by the way, just green, just beautiful translucent green. But we get like a ghost Crocmaster and a ghost something else that comes with the ghost desert scorpion. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's the thing. I don't know. Interesting. But what do they got to do to make that compelling enough to really say, oh, I want to spend that much money for that thing? I don't know. Do they do a ghost snow serpent that comes with a dire polar bear? I don't know.
And I felt like there was one.
We've got one that's kind of future speculation. Nowhere Man-Child just chimed in.
Oh, I felt like If you want to pull that up, I'm scrolling back up in the chat because I feel like around the time that
Child said,
Rectip
"What about
dropped
the Devil
that,
Ray
there
that
was
came with
another
Hydra
question.
Viper?" I mean, that would be a reasonable choice. However, we haven't seen it yet in classified, so I think for the purposes of this conversation, we're just thinking about existing tooling. Well, let's move on. I think we've got a couple more sound offs here.
Cool.
Brett White, how do you feel about characters who weren't part of the initial 82 to 94 era? For me, it's hard to accept them as part of the canon, even if they're modern Larry Hama creations, like Don Moreno, Helix, Shooter, Risk. When did any of those characters click for you? It's an interesting point, and I'm sure people are kind of all over the place on this. I've never, to be honest, I've never really had an issue accepting new characters, and I wonder if it comes from the fact that I was actively collecting Joe versus Cobra and Valor versus Venom, and new characters were being introduced like it was no big thing back then. So I don't. It's never been an issue for me. It's a new character. Okay, cool. Well, and even with the 25th anniversary, we got new characters like I can't remember his name right now. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the chat. The guy with the chainsaw that kind of looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that. Like, and also there's the fact that from time to time there's been somebody that like Lieutenant Stone, that was not a new character, but that I thought was, but I was like, oh, it's Brendan Fraser. Cool.
Bench Press. That was that guy's name, right?
Yeah, Bench Press.
Yeah.
So like, no, I don't know. I don't really have any trouble for new characters. Oh boy, there's some controversy from Nowhere Man-Child.
Yes, so Nowhere Man-Child says, "Cool Breeze clicked for me immediately, though he was only in 2 issues."
That may have been the shortest missing in action we ever did.
We have talked about Cool Breeze on the show. Join the Audible Army Facebook group and check out the Audible Interlude wiki for more on Cool Breeze.
And Reverend Scott jumping in with, "I thought Zanya was cool."
And Heartwrencher too.
Yeah, I liked Zanya for sure.
Now, so when I read this, I have no problem accepting characters as canon, but it made me think, like, when has a new character connected with you? Like, when Don Moreno was introduced, anybody that listens to the podcast knows, like, Snake Eyes is not even like in my top 10 of characters. So it's like, okay, we have a female Snake Eyes. Cool. I could take her or leave her. Then in the new battle for Springfield that Hama has been doing under Skybound, when her parents were murdered, everything they've done with her since then, I'm like, oh, next issue. I want to see what's going on with Dawn. So I like Helix. She appears in the comic a lot. But I can't say that I am as jonesing for her appearances as I am a Don Moreno.
Well, and Dawn's funny because I liked Dawn's character from the start, but then when they downloaded all of Snake Eyes' consciousness into her, I was like, what is this? I didn't like that, and that made me like the character less. But as far as accepting new characters, I think in general I'm pretty good about it, which is honestly kind of surprising to me. But Risk, like, we all loathe Risk, but we have accepted that he is part of the modern version of G.I. Joe.
And I think they want us to an extent.
Can you imagine if they think he's awesome?
So for me, it's still hard to accept some of those later 82 to 94 because I wasn't collecting. Like, I had to rediscover all that stuff later. And then, like, a lot of the stuff they did in, like, the Valor versus Venom era and all that, like I accept, like Agent Faces fits in, and Noel's
like, Voltar is bullshit.
Like, no, I knew Voltar because I was still reading the comics at that point. But then, like when they picked up with the Devil's Due, and that was when I started kind of getting back into GI Joe storytelling again. And there were some things I really liked out of that. Some new characters, like I liked Destro's son, being Destro. I liked like Lady Armada. I liked a few of those characters. It were the kind of parallels of ones that I grew up with, and I like the idea that like this is like the Joes are older, like so we're bringing in a new generation, and even like like the Firewall and Damon characters, like. I didn't know if they necessarily fit G.I. Joe, but I understood what they were doing. But yeah, so I never really had a problem with a lot of these new characters being introduced. And some of them, like when we look at, like Helix or Bomb Strike, like to me, they're just, hey, they added some more like cool female figures to G.I. Joe or to more characters. That helps to diversify it a lot more and just like enhances the audience. So I've never had a problem really with those characters.
And Nowhere Manchild says, I had to think about this, but Crosshair was a 2000s figure they got into Devil's Due and fit well.
Well, I think a lot of there was a lot of synergy between Devil's Due and the toy line. So you had, as Noel mentioned, Bomb Strike, Crosshair, Barrel Roll, like a lot of those characters got fleshed out a lot in the comic books. They were working pretty closely together at the time.
And Brett's follow-up says, I think because the Sunbow Deke cartoons are my foundation, if I can't hear their voice in my head, it's hard for me to think of them as real.
Oh, interesting.
That's interesting. Especially considering like so many major characters that we've like grown to love later on, or even during that time. Like Outback was never featured on any Sunbow cartoon, or even Deke. But like everybody loves that character.
Yeah, interesting. And then we had a response to this from Silent Interlude. Once I actually read the comics, I thought Dawn Moreno was awesome. I was not a fan of female Snake Eyes until I read her story arc, though, and that's an important thing as well. I think I wonder how many of the major detractors of Dawn Moreno have even read the comics. And I think that's a big part of things as well. Like, have you actually taken the media in, or are you just making a snap judgment based on internet?
Also, how have we gone this far without getting a proper Dawn Moreno figure in any of these
lines?
That's
crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't believe we got Helix before her in Classified. That's weird. Well, that is all we've got for Sound Off, which brings us to the last segment of the show. We haven't done it in quite some time, but now we've got time tonight, so we're going to go right on into Joe and Tell. I don't even remember what it is. It's been so long since we've done it. No, each of us has something that we're going to share on camera and tell a little story about, whether it's a new item, something old that we've obtained, whatever the case may be. This is Joe and Tell. Who wants to go first? No, you know what, Noel, you get to go first because I know you've been chomping at the bit.
Have I?
I feel like you have. Don't you have tons and tons of stuff?
Well, I did. I've gone through most of them. I figured I got through all the Joe Fest stuff. I shared all I needed to share from Joe Fest. That was 2 months ago. But this is one that only arose from when I was doing this last week. And I'm glad that Tom Henry did finally join our chat, because otherwise I was going to be like, Tom Henry, this comes from your request last week, and if you're not here, it just goes to show you're not allowed to miss shows because you missed the things that we talked about.
You said only a rose, and I've got Batman Forever on the brain
right?
so much. My first thought was you were going to sing "Kiss from a Rose."
But as we were wrapping up last week, I made a mention of finding some stuff on the side of the road, and he mentioned like, I wanted to hear about the Roadkill Legos, set in context because you had an S. So this is what I picked up off the side of the road a couple of weeks ago. I was out running a couple of errands, and I'd gone to a couple of estate sales, and I was on my way back home, and Ralph Memorial Drive in Decatur, and I was getting ready to turn left onto the street that I live off of, and I just happened to see there was a yard sale sign up a little bit. I was like, oh, I'll go up there and I'll check that out real quick. Pulled into to this neighborhood, saw the yard sale that was going on, walked up, about 30 seconds later, realized there was nothing here for me, and I walked back out. And I could have just flipped my car around and gone back home, but I was like, there's some nice houses in this neighborhood. I'm going to go look at a couple of these houses real quick and just enjoy the scenery for a second and come back up. And as I'm driving up, I see there's a table sitting in somebody's yard on the side of the road. And a couple of little things by it that are clearly just like, these are things that we're dropping off for the world. And I looked at this, I saw this, but this was like slightly above eye level. So I was like, is that what I think it is? As I glance inside, and sure enough, crazy. It's a bin full of Lego. And a lot of times when you find these nice like bits of used Lego, a lot of it is crap. A lot of it is, the off-brands, or a lot of non-Lego toy. There were a couple of them in here, but I did decide to keep this little Hess hot rod. Yeah, but for the most part, this was like 98% Lego that I've found thus far. If not more, and most of it's in really good shape. So even though I'm not really doing much with the Lego right now, I will not turn down a giant like 10-pound bin, because this is a good, I'd say,
that up.
$100 used.
Tom Henry in the super chat.
Super chat for Roadkill Legos. Hashtag build a fang.
I should definitely build a fang out of this and share it later, but that would require me having time to build anything.
You're right.
But yeah, there we go. Giant bin of Roadkill Lego.
Nice.
Chat wants to know: is there any minifigs?
Oh yeah, lots of minifigures. Actually, right on top there was a Din Djarin Mandalorian figure, but I haven't been able to find his matching Grogu.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, usually when you find these, you're going to find a bunch of minifigures, which are honestly the thing I care the least about with Lego. I sell the minifigures to get back the money for the parts that I wanted.
All right, Kristian.
Yes.
You are up next. What you got?
All right. So my newest order from Gridiron Toys came in. I haven't had a chance to even open them yet, but I got their set that is supposed to go with Footloose, because once I finally got him, I don't know, like, I love him as a figure, but I am on the same page with Dave when it comes to the helmet.
Yeah, right.
So now
kind of surprising that Gridiron has a less modern military helmet for him.
Yeah, but it it's got the leaves and all of that. No, angry mouth.
Oh, I like it.
On the javelin. The standard Joe rifle. And here's what also sold me on it, I guess I should say. So here's his backpack, and you notice there's no peg.
Right.
Plug it into his back because he has web gear.
Ooh.
And then there's a hook so that when you put it on the figure, it is flat.
Oh, that's
or at least
great.
In their photos, it's flat against the back. So
why can't the classified team contour those backpacks? Drives me crazy.
And he has a utility.
A tactical shovel. Yes.
So
fantastic.
Yep. So probably after Dragon Con, I'll get some photos of it made with it all together. But yeah, the helmet and having a backpack that fits.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've had a lot of Dragon Con talk this evening, and we're about to have even more. I have got the buttons that will be available at Dragon Con. We still have, we've got buttons that are stuck together. Let's see how this works. Okay. We've still got some Cobra Intern buttons available. We have our standard Audible Interlude button available, but only available at, I made a dozen of them and they're not popping up. Here we go. Only available at Dragon Con. the Dragon Con exclusive. There it is. Panel button. So if you are at our panel at Dragon Con, you will be able to get one of these buttons if you participate in the panel, and any that are not given away. And I would imagine most of them, they will probably all be given away. But any that are not given away will be thrown in the trash after the panel, because that's what I do every single year at Dragon Con. Every panel I do, I make buttons, and any that are left over afterwards get thrown in the trash. They know, because nobody gets them if you weren't at the panel. So that's the only way to get those. And that is my Joe and Tell. And that's it. That's all the show we've got for this week. But before we go, Noel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Finest?
The Finest is an international G.I. Joe costuming club that raises money for a fantastic charity called Canines for Warriors. And you can check out thefinestcc.com or the Finest Recruitment Center on Facebook. If you ever thought about joining up with us, we will also, of course, be at Joe-Lanta coming up in about a month or so.
And Kristian, tell us about that toy photography you do so well.
You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky under the name Legion Cub.
Our music is by Andy Sanford of electricminnowmusic.com. Follow us on Instagram at Audible Interlude Podcast, and find us right here on the Needless Things YouTube channel on September 8th. That is the next time we'll be broadcasting live, and you will be able to find the audio and maybe the video, depending on how things work out, from our Dragon Con panel next week, wherever you get your podcasts. Until then, yo, Joe.
Cobra. Roadkill Lego.